Great. Well, I want to welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. And I'm Laurel Marcassini. I am your Sadlier sales rep, and I am going to show you the new program that has been bought for your parish to, to guide the kids in their faith this year, which will be an interesting year because everything is going to be done remotely. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a brief review of how the book is set up, and I'll take about just 5 minutes to do that. And then I'd like to go into the digital component of Christ in Us, and then I'm going to show you what I recommend you do whether you're going to just be sending out messages each week to your students' parents and giving them some guidance about what chapter you want them to be working on, what lessons you want them to be working on, and what you'd like them to be completing throughout the week as, kind of more like a homeschool program, and what you'd like to send back to you to show, not necessarily to test them, but to show some kind of accountability to show that they actually did the work at home for this particular week. So that will be the bulk of it. So Christ in Us really is a program that has two components. There's the print book, and there is the digital component that accompanies the print book. And right now I'm going to ask everybody to mute your microphones because there's a little bit of background noise. And if everyone just mutes your microphone, and then if you have a question, you can unmute yourself and just jump right in and say, Laurel, I need to interrupt, because as soon as I start sharing my screen, you're going to disappear and I'm not going to see you anymore, and I won't see the chat box either. So just interrupt me if you have a question. But anyway, so Christ in Us is what we call blended learning. It's the book and the digital component that accompanies the book. So it is on the digital platform. You will not have the actual book. You just have the activities and the music and the videos and the assessments and all the things that go along with the book. So the students really need to have both things open when they're using Christ in Us. Okay, so at this point, I am going to share my screen, and I'm going to show you what the book of Christ in Us looks like and how it works. Okay, so all of the students will have a print book that they can use at home. And I'm going to scroll down and show you that this year you will be teaching 20 chapters. There are 20 core chapters in Christ in Us spread out over 4 units. Those 4 units are the 4 pillars of the Catholic Church. If you look at the page I've got open right now to you today, it will show you that at the top of every lesson is centered around an essential faith question. That faith question is the same question that's being asked of every child in every grade. So this is what we call a true spiral curriculum, and that every student circles back at the exact same time every year and revisits that faith topic. And as they get older and more mature, they get deeper into that topic and tackle it in a more mature way. So it's not like they're learning the same thing over and over again, but that's what a spiral curriculum and how it works. And what's especially great about a spiral curriculum for this year is that we're really going to be counting on the families to be doing homeschooling with their kids, and the parents, kind of stepping up and helping supplement their teaching of the faith to their kids. And with the spiral curriculum, they can be working with all their kids at one time. It really lends itself to faith discussions around the dinner table, and because all the children in one family will be learning about the same essential faith question at the same time. Okay, so those are your 20 core units. Then there's 20 core chapters. Then there is a 5th unit, and that's the liturgical calendar. So whenever when we get to Advent, you want to insert lesson 22 on Advent, that would be the time to do it. But it is, kind of important that you stay on track with each chapter being the next week, because we do want the families to stay in sync with each other, especially this year while they're going to be helping with the teaching. You'll see that every grade has a spiritual advisor, kind of a patron grade, saint of the grade. This saint you can revisit over and over. You will revisit this saint 4 times throughout the year. Unlike the other saints that you'll learn about at the end of every chapter, that's kind of a once and done, what you've been used to in previous years where you learn about a saint and you don't revisit that saint. But the patron saint of the grade is a saint that you would like to, anytime you can, relate that lesson to the life of this saint, because we want the kids to start understanding that when they pass from this earth and become and enter heaven, we become saints. Unlike what society has taught us, we do not become angels when we die. We become saints when we make it to heaven. So we want the kids to start really thinking about, you know, how can I be a saint? I'm going to scroll down and show you that, as I said, at the end of every chapter, we learn that it's not just enough to learn about our faith, but we have to live our faith. And so we, at the end of every chapter, learn about somebody who did put the faith practices of this particular lesson into their lives and became saints because of it. So there will be a saint at the end of every chapter. We also have mini tasks at the end of every chapter, and these I might caution this year to, if you're thinking about assigning the mini tasks, these are projects. This is to more authentically assess whether or not the students learn their faith, more so than answering some questions, taking a test like true and false, multiple choice, fill in the blank. These are little mini projects, and they might be a little daunting for this year of remote learning. So before you assign a mini task, you might want to take a look at it and make sure that it's not too much. Some of them are very simple, like draw a picture, make the cover of a Bible, or something like that. But others are create a TV commercial and things that might be a little much while we're in remote learning, just because I think that the kids and their parents right now are a bit overloaded. What's unique to Christ in Us is its digital portal. Scattered throughout the lessons, you will see these icons. These icons are what take you at that point in the lesson and let you know that it's time to go to the computer. And here at this point in the lesson, if you click on this matching icon on your computer portal, you'll see a video, or you'll see a prayer, or you'll see an activity that the children and the parents and even you as catechists can refer to in that lesson. And when we're back in class, you can bring activities into the classroom, but you'll also see that there are assessments that are also on the portal. These are completely interactive, and I'll show you how you can assign these, but these assessments are things that that you can use to have the kids do right on the computer and send directly back to you through your computer. So no picture taking would have to be done, no paper has to be printed, you know, nothing has to be sent as an attachment. So as you can see, I'm just going to flip through the first chapter as I turn the page. Every lesson starts with the unit prayer, and then we also have the option, catechists would have an option to do a special prayer if you choose not to use the gathering prayer. But here we have a little bit of teaching, and this first lesson, there's already right here a video. And the children would be instructed to then go to their portal, watch this 2-minute video. No, there is a video for every single lesson for every grade. It's not a lesson video. It's not something that they can go to and watch and learn all about the chapter. It takes one aspect of the chapter, and it gives you a little 2-minute interactive video that's age appropriate for each of the kids, or each of the grades. There are activities that they can do in their book if their parents are sick of all the digital that the kids are doing. If you ask the kids to just do the work in their workbooks, you can have them draw and do the paper to pencil activities, and then they can just take a picture of it and send it to you in a text or whatever. There are lots of different ways that you can ask the kids to send back any kind of work that they do that will show accountability for completing that chapter. All of our prayers can be printed out, but all of our prayers are also audio, and I'll show you where you find that when we get into the portal. As you can see, this ebook is not interactive, so I can't just click on these icons and open them up, but I will open them up when we get in the portal. And here we come to the end of the chapter. The end of the chapter gives you 3 to 4 questions, show what you know, that when we're in seat learning, you can use these 3 or 4 questions as a great discussion at the end of your class time. However, this year, while we're in remote learning and having remote classes, you can actually create this as an assignment and ask the kids to send these show what you know questions back to you if you like. And then there's also a lesson test at the end of every chapter, but that's only available to you as the catechist. That has to be assigned. It's not something in the student's book, and it's not something on the student or their parents' portal. So when we get into the portal, I'll show you how to do that. And then, yep.
I have a question, if I may.
Yep.
So I think that myself and Sarah Pacone and I will be doing live classes with my class. So do I have to do everything digital, or can I just have the kids, because each child will have their own book?
Yes.
So can each of one of my students pen and paper or pencil and paper fill out? Can I do the lesson and read the lesson with them?
You can do whatever you want. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how the digital portal works, and then I'm going to leave it up to you and Steve and Lucy to discuss it with each other, how you want to go about. I think that Lucy initially said that some catechists will not be comfortable doing video lessons with their kids, and so they might just send messages out and say, this week, this is the chapter I want you to work on, and these are the 2 things I want you to send back to me. Others of you might be more comfortable doing something like we're doing right now and having a Zoom lesson, maybe 20 minutes, giving your kids a snapshot of what this lesson is, and maybe each week, so that you see their faces and you can talk to each other briefly, and then you send them off to work with their parents throughout the week, and then again have them send some things back to you. And what they send back to you might just be, if they did work in the book, you might just say, okay, did anyone do the work on page 19? If you did, when we're Zooming, hold your paper up, let me see what you did. You know, it can be as simple as that. And so I don't, you know, I'm just here to train you on the program. I'm not here to tell you how to use it. I think that's really up to Steve. But I would say, as a former DRE, I would encourage any catechist to do whatever you're comfortable with. And I think some of you are more comfortable doing things that another one might not be. Okay?
Okay, very good, thank you.
Okay. And then, so this is at the end of every chapter, you will have the saint. And for every saint you learn about, there is a video. And then, as I said, at the end of every chapter is a mini task or a project. Now, this would be one that I might say, yes, we can do, because it's just drawing the cover of a Bible. But as I said, some are, you know, more complicated, create a public service announcement or make a TV commercial, things like that. So that is how the book is set up. Before I move into the digital portal, do I have any questions about how the book is organized, or any questions about the book itself? And as I said, all children, all of the students will have a book, correct? Lucy? Yeah, Steve? Yeah. Okay. All right, I'm going to go now into the portal. So when all of you, and I don't know if you've gotten it yet, but all of you will be receiving an email. And that welcome email is going to be sent once Lucy puts in all the catechists, all the students, creates all the classes. The portal, we call it a portal. The digital component of this program is a smart program. So it knows what your class name is, what students are in your class, when your class meets, how long you have, how long of a time you have. And when that's all done, she's going to push out an email. The email is not going to come from the parish. The email is going to come from support@christinus.com. And embedded in that email is going to be a link. And that link is going to be specific to your parish. So if for some reason somebody logs into christinus.com and puts in their username and password, and it asks you for a zip code, that means you do not have your parish's link. So just remember that, Lucy and Steve, if somebody calls you and says, well, it's not taking my username because it's asking me for a zip code, it means they're not using the right link. All right, so once you get that link, please save it in your favorites. Bookmark it in your computer so that you always have access to it. Bookmark it in your phone. Whatever digital devices you might be using for your religion classes, make sure you bookmark it there. There you will also, embedded in the email, besides the link, you'll also get the username and the password that has been created for you. Once you log in, or once you get that, you put in your username and password, and I'm logging in right now as a catechist. And when I log in, this is what I see. When you first log in, the first time you log in, you will not see this until you also accept the terms and conditions. Once you accept terms and conditions, then you will get all the dots, grades K through 6. And you, as a catechist, you get all the grades because of the spiral curriculum, because you can jump around. If you're on lesson 5, remember, lesson 5 is the same faith topic no matter what grade you're teaching. So you can jump around and look at the different activities that we give for that particular faith topic in any one of the grades. So that's why we give you access to all the grades in the portal when you first log in. Also, when you first log in, if you go up to the 3 lines up in the top left corner, you'll see next to my avatar and my name, you'll see a gray box with 3 lines. Remember that we call this the hamburger, okay? So if you click on the hamburgers, we think it looks like a hamburger. So if you click on the hamburger and you go to my account, if you go into my account, this is where you can change your username and password to be something that you select if you don't like what was selected for you. Lucy, don't freak out. If somebody changes their username and password, it will change on the master. So if somebody changes it several times and then they lose their link or they can't, if somebody ever loses their link, another welcome email can be pushed out from the master account. And it will contain the most recent username and password that they created for themselves. The only time they need the username and password that's created for them is to get into it that very first time. All right, this is also where you can create an avatar. So if you want to make a cartoon character for yourself, you can do that here. And remember that all of your students and all of your students' parents also will be able to go into their hamburger and click on my account and change their usernames and passwords and create avatars. So I always say when I train, one thing that you might want to assign your students to do the first week is to go and create their avatars, because that would be really engaging and really fun for them to do and kind of start the year off in a fun way, and ask them to all, go online at some point this week and then we'll all show each other our avatars type thing. Okay. So now I'm going to be in the units. So I was on a 2nd grade book, so I'm going to stick with the 2nd grade book. So I'm a 2nd grade catechist, so I'm going to click in my 2nd grade book. As a catechist, I'm going to scroll down. Anytime you leave messages for your students or their parents, or the admin sends messages out to everybody else, whether it's Steve or Lucy, messages will show up on your landing page. All right, we also give you as catechists some catechist formation. This is not specific to the curriculum. This is just for your own personal faith development. And so I invite you to click on the catechist formation tile and view the different videos that we give you on a whole host of topics of faith. We also give you a calendar and a lesson planner that you can also access through the hamburger that I'll show you later. But the one thing on this first page I want to show you that's very important is the Getting Started tile. So I'm going to click on that. And when you click on the Getting Started tile and scroll down just a little bit, you're going to see this Christ in Us Companion. This Christ in Us Companion is a resource that you will probably go back to several times. So remember where to find it. Again, it's in the Getting Started, and then click on Christ in Us Companion. And when you do that, it's going to, takes a couple seconds to pop up. When you do that, it's going to take you to this page where you can find over here courses. All right, there are other things here that you can explore. There's blogs that you can have discussions with other catechists around the country. But what I want to focus on right here is if you click on courses, this is going to show you right here that there are courses for administrators, there's courses for catechists, there's an instructor in service, there are courses for parents, and whoops, it looks like somebody sent me a message. Hang on. I'm going to get out of that. If I click on the catechist page, I would have to enroll for free. Click on enroll free, and after you do that, it's going to give you a series of videos, and these are training videos. So these are videos that will tell you if you forget what I said tonight, you know, like how to use the home guide, how to create assignments, how to use the mini tasks, how to send messages. So these are different training videos that you'll find in the Christ in Us Companion. So I encourage you to look on the Getting Started tile. Another thing I want to show you before we get into a lesson is if you click on the resources dot, the prayers. If you click, and I'm not going to show you everything, so once you get in, I encourage you to click on all the different squares and all the different tiles and all the different dots to see what else is in there that I'm not going to talk about tonight because we'd be here for 3 hours. But this here, in resources, and if you click on prayers, you'll find all the different prayers that the kids would be learning throughout the year, you know, your traditional prayers, and then a lot of prayers that they probably have never heard of, and this list will grow. However, if, for instance, you're preparing the kids for confession, and maybe we'll be going to confession, hopefully, in Advent and Lent, you can encourage the kids to click on their prayers and pull up the act of contrition. If we're back in class, you can print this out and send it home with the students. However, while we're in remote, if you're doing a video lesson, you know, a brief video lesson each week with the kids, you can show this on your screen. You can have the kids pray it along with you. But if you're just going to be sending messages out, you can tell them, you know, to review their act of contrition on their portal. And one of the unique features of this is all of the prayers also have an audio component. So if you just click on the play.
My God, I am sorry for my sins with all my heart, in Jesus' wrong and failing to do.
Okay, so all of our prayers have an audio component. So what a great way to learn especially for second grade catechists, for the students to be learning their prayers for First Reconciliation. It's awesome to have the kids just listen to it over and over and over again. So another thing I want to show you is up at the top next to my avatar above my name, you'll see instructor view, because that's what I was showing you. But if you click on the arrow, you're going to have a drop down. You will always be able to see anything, anytime you're in your portal. You will also be able to see what the students see. You can click on the parent view and on the student view, and you can see also, you know, what do they get when they log in. So the kids get something different. So when a child first logs into their portal, when they first log in, they will come to a landing page that looks like this if they're in second grade, because it's a blue book. And then they scroll down and remember where you had catechist formation, those special videos that were specifically for catechists, they get that getting started tile on how to complete your assignment, how to check your grades, how to do a mini task, things like that. So they have different getting started videos. And over here, whenever a student logs in, they will see on the left-hand side of their screen if they have assignments, and on the right-hand side of their screen if they have different messages that are sent between you or the DRE. Okay, so now we want to log in and show you, as parents, they get something different too. So when a parent logs into their child's, to their own portal, they get family spirituality, how to read the Bible as a family, how to pray the rosary together, how to keep prayer in your daily life, things like that. And then we also encourage them to check out the Getting Started videos that show them how to use the portal and how to check their children's grades and how to check assignments and things like that. So everybody gets a little bit different landing page, but it's all there for you to toggle between to see, who's getting what, so that you know what your students are getting and you know what their parents are seeing when they log in. All right, so now I'm going to get into a unit and a lesson. So I'm just going to pick the very first lesson for Unit 1, and again, I'm in second grade. And the essential question for all grades is, how do we know about God? So when you log in, you're not going to have this. Your students will get an opening prayer, and then they will have their glossary of terms on every single lesson. And for every single lesson, they'll have the one little 2-minute video that has something to do with the lesson. They'll have the little 1 to 2 minute video on, yep. Somebody talking? Oh, maybe they're not. Okay, maybe Giovanna, if you could mute yourself. Okay, so for every lesson, as I said, there's a little video. So one part of the way that we know God is through the Bible. So as I said, every grade is learning about how we know about God. Well, we know about God through the Bible. We know about God through Jesus, through his teachings, through the apostles, through the disciples. We know God through our current church, through our priests. So this is one way that we know about God, is through the Bible. And so when you click on this video, you can see that there's a minute and 20-second video that has to do with the Bible. Every single video for lesson 1, no matter what grade, has taken the part of how we know God of the Bible. All right, they haven't taken different parts for different grades. And this particular video, as you can see, it's a minute and 20 seconds long, talks about how for second graders learn that monks hand wrote Bibles before the printing press was invented.
Monks copied the first Bibles by hand. Your Bible and the ones you see today were made by hand.
Okay, I'm not going to show you the whole thing, but you can see, I just wanted to show you it's very age appropriate, very, second grade-ish, cartoony. The 6th graders learn that the Bible can be downloaded onto their cell phones. It's not a cartoon, it's very much more of an adult, more mature video, but again, has to do with the same faith topic. Then for every single video, there's an activity that goes with it. So you may have noticed that the Bible, when you saw in that first part of that video, when the monks wrote the Bibles, they decorated the pages, the borders of the pages. So this could be something that you ask the children to do through the week. Maybe if you are having some kind of a video classroom with them for 20 to 30 minutes, you can bring that video up on your screen because it's only a minute, 20 seconds. It's engaging to the kids. And then you can say, you know what? We learned this about the monks, and sometime during the week when you're working at home on your lesson, maybe you want to draw a picture about something that you can do with great love this week, or maybe you want to tweak this assignment and say, let's write out the words to the sign of the cross, and on the outside of your page, decorate the border. And when we meet next week, you know, hold up your picture and show me what you did. Or if you're sending a message out to the students, you can just say, if you choose to do this, you could take a picture of this and send it back to me. These did you know activities were really intended to be done in class because we didn't know COVID was coming. So this is not one of the things that can be done interactively. But certainly, if the children do the work, you know, you can have them take a picture and send it back to you through an attachment or something. Same thing with the Partners in Faith. At the end of every chapter, there's a short little video. This one is only 52 seconds long. It's all about St. Therese of Lisieux. And in this video, we learn that St. Therese of Lisieux is also called the Little Flower. So here's another activity that goes with what they learned in that video. Maybe sometime during the week, you can draw a flower and make one of the petals really big. And on that petal, draw a picture or write out what you're going to do this week to try to be like St. Therese of Lisieux. How are you going to try to be like a saint this week? What little thing are you going to do with great love? And so, again, it's something that they can hold up and show you in a Google Meets or a Zoom classroom, or it's something that they can just, you know, take a picture of and send to you through the message board. So that's basically what the kids get for every lesson. If I click on any lesson, I'm going to click on lesson 4 real quick and just show you. I'm going to scroll down and show you they get the same 4 things for every lesson. And if there's a special prayer that they're learning, there might be one of the audio prayers here as well. But for the most part, this is what they're going to see for every lesson. So we can keep it really simple for the kids to just listen, watch both of the videos for, you know, read through the chapter with your parents, watch both of the videos with your kids, and then have them do the 2 activities that go along with those videos. Now I want really quickly to show you what if you log in as a student's parent, go back to that same lesson. I'm going to scroll down and show you that the kids see, the parents see exactly the same things that the kids see. So they're not getting any more either, except for one thing. If we scroll up just a little bit, you didn't get ebooks, so this is where the ebooks would be. But right here, you're going to get, the parents all get a home guide for every single chapter. So as catechists, you want to every week refer to the home guide and make sure that the catechists know, or the parents know, that that home guide is there for them to use when they're homeschooling their kids this week. This home guide is available for every lesson, and for every lesson it's 4 pages. The first page is basic faith knowledge, a few paragraphs about what these parents need to know to teach this faith lesson to their kids, because we understand at Sadlier that when we tell parents that their child's first catechist, they look at us like we're crazy. And so I can't tell you how many parents have said to me, I am ill-equipped to teach my child the faith. I don't know my faith well enough. So we understand that, and we don't overwhelm them with all kinds of faith formation. We give them what they need and only what they need to teach this lesson to their kids. And then we also understand that lots of parents have more than one kid. And we don't want them to feel like they have to do with math or science right now in remote learning, sitting down with each one individually because they're learning something so different. We give them the tips so that they can teach this faith topic to all their kids at one time, and they consider, even if their faith lesson is a 15-minute discussion around the dinner table this week, that's good enough for this year. And so we give them the tips that they need to use, or that they can use to teach this particular faith topic to all their kids at once. And then we go into some ideas, some questions to ponder, because they're all learning the same faith topic. They're all pondering the same essential faith question, and we remind them on the digital portal they have access to prayers, videos, saint activities, and other projects that they can do as a family. And then if they stop there, that's fine, but they might want to take it to page 3 and 4. Pages 3 and 4 actually walks them through a lesson, gives them the Lectio Visio Divina, gives them the questions that they would ask, gets to the video. You know, if a family has 3 kids in the family, the parent might say, okay, each of you go off to a different part of the house, watch your age level video, let's meet back here in 10 minutes. Or they might say, because we know that all of this, for this particular lesson, all the videos have something to do with the Bible, let's watch all of them together. And if I have 3 kids, I still haven't spent more than 6 minutes watching videos, and we might have a really good discussion about all the different things we learned about the Bible because we had 3 different videos to watch. And then page 4 just kind of wraps the lesson up, tells them that there's a project that they can do as a family. There are activities that we can you know, encourage them to do, but again, it's totally up to them. So this home guide is available, as I said, for every chapter, for every grade. So you as catechists, whether you're doing Zooming with the kids or you're just sending out messages asking them to do this particular chapter this week, always make sure that you let the parents know that there's a home guide there to help them while they're teaching this faith lesson to their kids this week. And then last but not least, I'm going to show you the instructors, what you get as a catechist. So when you scroll down for that same lesson as a catechist, you get all of these optional activities. These optional activities were really intended for you to use in the classroom. So every single one of them has 3 dots at the end of it. And I can show you that, you know, most of these were just really intended to be printed out, bring it into the classroom. And, you know, next year when we're back in the classroom, I can show you how all these great activities are really engaging for the kids. But for the purpose of this year, like, you can say, you know, maybe I'm just going to ask the kids to watch the video, do the activity, and then the same for the saint. And then I recommend, this is my personal recommendation, is if you teach 1st, 2nd, or 3rd grade, you would assign them the show what you know. These are the 3 to 4 questions at the end of the chapter that are also in their book that you can create as an assignment, and they would send that, do it right on the computer and send it right back to you. And if you teach grades 4, 5, and 6, I would do the lesson test. The lesson test is 10 questions. At the end of every unit, if each of the 4 units is also a unit test, and I would stay away from those this year. Those are really intended for Catholic school kids, and I just think that either the show what you know or the lesson test is probably enough for this year. And I'll show you how you do that. When you click on these 3 dots, it gives you what you can do, as I showed you before. So if you say, you know, we watched this video when we were Zooming together, or if you're just sending a message and you don't Zoom, you can click on the 3 dots, and one of the drop down might be send a reminder. So you can click on send a reminder, and a message board is going to pop up. When this message board pops up, it knows what you clicked on. So it's going to pre-print a message to your students. But you can say, class, you can edit this. You can say, please watch the Did You Know video, okay? And remember to review and remember to do the activity. And then maybe you can say, you can take this off and be ready to discuss it when we meet next week, because maybe we're not meeting next week. So you can edit this message however you want. You just have to know the name of your class. So it's all how the name of the class, how your class was named when it was put into the computer. So Lucy would be able to give you that information. But for the purpose of tonight, I'm going to show you, I named one of my classes Tuesday Tuesday evening, second grade. So if I start typing in Tuesday, immediately the computer is going to start popping up options for me based on what's input in the computer. You can see that I can send it to all the students in my second grade class by clicking on class. Know that any message I send through the portal to my students will automatically also be sent to the parents because of protecting God's children. However, if I only want to send a message to the parents of the students in my class, I can. And that's why they're differentiated this way. It's not because this is only going to the students and this is only going to the parents. If you click on class, it automatically goes to both. You can also send messages just to a child. So I'll start typing in, I know Amanda Fahey is one of my students. So I'm going to send a message to Amanda. I want to send a message to Amanda Fahey's parents, and I know that Amanda Fahey's parents have a different last name than she has. So as soon as I start typing in Amanda, I know she happens to be my 30-year-old daughter. I know that the computer will tell me who her parent is. So I don't even have to know the names of my parents. I just have to know the names of my students. So you don't need a single email address. All you need to know is your students' names and the name of your class. So that's how you can send a message through the dots. So if you're in the classes and you're using the dots, you can send a message about watching a video. You can send a message about doing activity for any of these. If you want to create an assignment where they actually have to send something back, say I want to create a show what you know assignment. I click on the three dots and it gives me create assignment as one of my options. Same with the lesson test. I can create an assignment by clicking on the clicking on the three dots and choosing that option. Now I have to put in the name of my class. So I think I'm going to choose that Tuesday evening second grade class again. And I'm going to send lesson one test. Okay. I also have to identify when that assignment is going to be live. So maybe I'm just going to send it today, and it has to be done before Wednesday of next week. So I'm going to give them until the 29th to complete this assignment. You can create all of your assignments today for the entire year, and your students will not get that assignment until the day you say it starts. So I know that there are those kids that will want to pull out their book, and their parents will encourage them, oh, just do the whole thing in one weekend. Well, they can't do that because they won't get their assignments until you say they get their assignments. And then you can, it will automatically populate to go to all the kids in the class. And I can see I've already assigned this one, so I'm not going to save it. But these would all be blank. These would all be white. And then it will automatically select all the students for the assignment to go to. However, you can unclick somebody. Maybe we're back in seat learning in January, and some family takes their kids on vacation for a couple weeks and they miss some classes. You can assign an assignment just to a couple kids in that class by checking on their names. So you can, assign it to everybody, or pick and choose who you want to send it to. And then you would click save, and that assignment is going to go right out to all the kids immediately. All right, so that's how you can create messages and assignments through the units and the lessons by using the dots on your landing page. Now, there are two ways to get to everything on Christ in Us. So another way to get to everything is through the hamburger. So I'm going to go back over to the hamburger. I'm going to click on the hamburger, and I'm going to show you, if you click on library, this is where you get all your resources for every lesson for every grade again. So that's what the library gives you. I'm going to show you the calendar. If you click on the calendar, you have personal use calendar that you can write in daily or you can track things weekly. What I love about the weekly calendar is it shows me this week, and it shows me not just all of the readings for every day, but it also gives me the liturgical color for this day. So if you are doing some kind of a visual class with your kids, maybe for 20 or 30 minutes, this would be a great teaching tool. I would start with my lesson with this and say, why is Monday red? Who can tell me why Monday is red? And then we learn about Feast of Martyrs. Why is Wednesday white? And, you know, special solemnities that we learn about. Obviously, there will be a lot of purple and Lent and Advent on your calendar. And those of you who want to start your class or send one of the readings of the week out to your class. I know a lot of catechists who like to start class with the reading of the day. And this is where you would find it, all right here in your calendar. You also have access to a lesson planner. And the lesson planner will give you, if you just kind of want to have a real good, clear view of everything in one place without it scattered all over the board, like I showed you with the dots, you can go right to your lesson planner and you can pick and choose what you want to use in your lesson. And they all have the 3 action dots here. So if you want to just go right to the lesson planner and send the message from the lesson planner, you can do that. You can create all of your assignments right from the lesson planner. And when we're back in class, you can start eliminating things like, oh, I don't have time for that, and I'm not going to do this optional activity. I'm not going to read the literature connection. So all of these things, it will shrink and grow your lesson based on what you choose to add into your lesson planner. And once you've got it all solidified and you figure out what you're going to use and what you're not going to use, you can print it out, you can download it, you can send it off. If you have a co-catechist, you can send it off to your co-catechist. If you've taken some media out of the lesson planner that you want to add back in, you just choose media and just add these things back in that were taken out, and then you click save, and all those things are right back in your lesson planner. There's a couple things I want to show you that if you are going to have actually, it doesn't matter how whether you're sending out messages to the families and telling them this is what I want your children to be working on this week, or whether you're doing a quick Zoom meeting with them. In the pre-lesson, if you click on this catechist formation and open this up, this is a great tool. It was really meant to be a 5-step planning guide to help you get ready for your in-seat class. However, the parishes that used this program in their summer religious education classes, who have now completed their religious ed for the summer, they loved this page. And the catechist said that this getting started, this page 1 of the catechist formation in the pre-lesson, gave them kind of their snapshot of what this particular chapter was about. So when you send out that message, or when you're Zooming with your kids and you want to give them just a very quick synopsis of, we're going to be doing lesson 5 this week, and this is what it's all about, you can take this page that gives you lesson focus and the lesson summary and the faith words that they're going to be learning in this particular chapter, and you can tweak this and make this your what you send out to the parents every week, or make this what you talk, a quick summary discussion when you Zoom with the kids, when you're meeting with them in that virtual classroom. And I wouldn't even worry about the other steps in this right now. Just use the getting started page, and this will give you a real quick snapshot that you can use to send out to the parents or use with the kids. Another thing that you might want to use is, if you are having a video lesson with them, is the prior knowledge check. Not so much if you're just sending messages out to them every week, but if you're going to be Zooming with them, this prior knowledge check starting with lesson 2 gives you 3 questions that you can take like maybe 3 minutes at the beginning of your lesson and say, before we get into this week's chapter, let's just review what we learned last week. And just spend 3 minutes. It gives you 3 questions that you can ponder with the kids. You can pick and choose which ones you want to use. You can use all of them. But before you go into the next lesson, let's just talk about what we learned last week. And so those are some of the some of the things that I recommend. I recommend that if you are going to be doing a Zoom or a Google Meets 20 to 30 minutes, you start with the opening prayer. So I'm gonna pull up that lesson planner. That you start with the opening prayer that you'll find right here. Then you do the prior knowledge check. Whoops, didn't mean to click it. Then you do the prior knowledge check. Then you, I keep going into the dots. Let me go back to my lesson planner. So as I said, you start with the opening prayer, then go into your prior knowledge check, then have your brief synopsis in the catechist formation that talks a little bit about your lesson. Then I would say, if you're Zooming, show them the 2-minute video about did you know. Ask them, sometime this week, I'd like you to do the activity that goes with the video we just saw. Have a little bit of discussion about the video that you're watching. Show the Partners in Faith video. Ask them to do the activity that goes with that sometime during the week with their parents, and then they can hold it up. And then either assign the show what you know questions or the lesson test questions. That would be my recommendation. You can take it or leave it. But we've been working with a lot of parishes. That seems to be working well. You don't want to overload them. And those of you who are not going to be doing any kind of visual Zoom or Google Meets lesson with them, and you just plan to just every week send a message out to the parents and students and say, this is the chapter I want you to work on with your kids this week, then I would just remind them throughout the week. Say, you know, a great thing to do is watch the video and do the activity, and you can send reminders to them throughout the week, and then just say the one thing I want you to send back to me is either the show what you know questions or the lesson test questions. And so that's how that works. Now, once I'm going to show you assignments. So if you click on assignments, any assignments that you create for your class will start populating on this page. Once you create an assignment and students start completing that assignment, you cannot delete this until the end of the year. So if you created an assignment and nobody has completed it, you can see it, you can edit it, and you can delete it. Once somebody's completed it, you can't delete it anymore. If you click on assignment, I'm going to click on this one and see what's going on here. So here I have one student that completed this assignment. It will tell me that it was a test. It was 10 questions long, and it will show me what questions she got right and what questions she got wrong. I'm going to click on another one because I want to show you one that has more. I'm going to find lesson 17, grade 5. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to click on this. The 3 dots again is what you can do with that assignment. So I'm going to show the report. When I show the report, it's going to show me all of the students that have completed this assignment. All right, so right here I see that Jake has not completed the assignment. So what I can do is I can go back into assignments. I can recreate, I can reassign this assignment just to Jake. And I can send him a message saying, Jake, I noticed you haven't completed lesson 17 test. It was due last week, but I'm going to give you a few more days. Or if you notice a bunch of kids haven't completed it, and maybe there was something going on at school and everybody was involved in something, you can reassign the assignment, or you can extend it and you can tell everybody by clicking on the 3 dots. I'd like you, I'm going to give you an extra week to complete this assignment. If you go into a completed assignment and you see everybody got the same question wrong, you can click on any one of these dots and view what the question was. And I would say if all my kids got the same question wrong, I would want to revisit that question and say, let's talk about this because everybody got it wrong. So that's how the assignment list works. And again, those blue dots are everything. It's what you can do. It's what you can reassign, how you grade and things like that. So any questions on, I'm going to stop for a second because I know I've given you a lot of information. Any questions on how to send messages or create assignments? I'm going to log out next, and I'm going to log in as a child, and I'm going to show you how they take a test or complete an assignment. Any questions so far? Okay. Yes, that's good. All right, I'm going to log out, and I'm going to log in as Diana. Diana is a 2nd grader. However, I also have her in as a 5th grader. She's in 2 different classes. All right, so Diana, when Diana logs in, this is what she's going to see because she's a 2nd grader. There's 2 ways that Diana is going to see her, what she messages. See, there's a 9 up here, so she can click on her hamburger. You see that the students also have access to a calendar, their assignments, their messages, their accounts. This is where they can create their avatar. So if Diana clicks on assignments, she's going to see her 6 assignments, or she's going to see her 9 graded assignments. If I don't click on that, Diana can also scroll down and see her messages here on the right side and her assignments on the left side. So I am going to have Diana take the Unit 1 lesson test. So anything that's in blue is live. So all she has to do is hover over the what assignment she's going to complete and click on it. When she clicks on that assignment, it's going to open right up for her. And then she can start taking her test. The church is all the people who are baptized. The apostles are the 12 men. A covenant is an agreement. So here we've got a drag and drop. And then we get into multiple choice. I'm going to say a friend told me, I'm going to say true because I want her to get that one wrong. Jesus is still with us today. True, the most important, right? So I'm just going to say everything is true. Now, if Diana gets called away for dinner or something, she can save her work, exit, log out, and log back in, and it's going to tell her your work is in progress. So I can save that, exit. I'm not going to completely log out because then it'll take me a minute to get back in. But now she's going to come in and she's going to see that she's still working on this in progress. She can click on it's still live link until it's submitted. It's still a live link. And she can go down here and the best answer. And then I'm intentionally going to skip number 8 because I'll show you what happens. How do we come to know God? I'm going to say prayer through prayer. What is a way that Jesus showed his Father's love? Forgave our sins. And if she tries to submit before she's answered all the questions, it's going to alert her and it's going to let her know you didn't answer all the questions. So she can continue the assignment. She'll have to go down and figure out which one she didn't do. And she's going to click on that answer and then she can submit her work. And as soon as that is submitted, it's immediately going to take her to a page that lets her know her catechist now has it. It is immediate. So the catechist already has this. Before I log out of Diana's portal, I also want to show you that Diana can now go into her assignments and look at her graded assignments, and so can Diana's mother. or a father or a grandparent or whoever it is. So if she goes into her graded assignments, again, the blue are live links. So I can pull up, let's pull up that 60 and show what you know. Oh, that's a short one. I'm going to do a lesson test. I'll show you the 54. So she's going to click on the live blue link that says 54. And when she does that, the entire test will come up. It'll tell you when she took it or when it was submitted, that her score was a 54. And here are all the questions and what she got right and what she got wrong. Okay. So, and if the instructor had a comment, it will show it on there. And, okay, so that's how the students and their parents can see the assignments. That's how they can find the assignments. They can see the messages. They can see, you know, they click on a message and it tells what the message is. They can show the graded assignments and see what their grades are. I do want to caution you, if you are sending out the show what, if you decide you're going to send the show what you know, understand that anytime there's a fill in the blank, that's a one-word answer. If the child spells it wrong, the computer marks it wrong. So that is important to remember. And I'll get to that in a second. I'm going to log out now. Last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to log back in. We're almost out of time now. I'm going to log back in as a catechist. And when I'm in, all of a sudden I have a number 1. That number 1 wasn't up there before. So I'm going to click on my hamburger. I'm going to go down to my assignments because that's where it's telling me I have a message. I'm going to scroll down and find that message, and that message is right, where is it? There. Because it's telling me somebody submitted an assignment. So it needs grading. I'm going to click on the 3 dots. And I'm going to grade this assignment. And when I click on grade, it's going to tell me right here, it was Diana who completed it. Here is my answer key. This answer key does not give you the words. It'll just give you A, B, true, false, and how many points they get for that. And it's going to take me right to question 9. And it's going to take me to question 9 because questions 1 through 8 are pre-graded because they were all drag drop, true and false, multiple choice. But as I said, if you're teaching young children like the 1st and 2nd graders, be sure you take a look at the test. If there are any fill in the blank one-word answers, the computer auto grades that. And we know that it's become an issue right now and it's not going to be resolved this year. We've asked that anytime a student has to actually type a word in, that the catechist grades it. Right now, if it's one word, the computer grades it. And if the child spells the word wrong, it's marked wrong. And that has become a problem because this is not English class. And so, you know, take a look at what you're assigning. Any lesson test, all of the questions 1 through 8 will be easily pre-graded, and all you have to do is grade number 9 and 10. So how do we come to know God? Through prayer. So I'm going to give Diana 1 point for that, and then I might say elaborate, but a 2nd grader would never know what elaborate means. So anyway, maybe I won't say anything, but then I have to go to the top of the page. And there's 2 ways that I can get to question 10. I can either scroll down and click on question 10, or I can click on the greater than sign, which is advance to the next question. So now we're going to go to question 10. And all of the open-ended questions, you can give 0 points, 1 point, or 2 points. So Jesus forgave our sins. So I'm going to give Diana 2 full points for that and say, good job. And then this is what stumped me for a while. I couldn't figure out how to submit the grade. And I realized I have to advance even if I know there's not a question 11, I need to advance. And that's when it finally then told me you have completed the grading successfully. And then I want to go down and see how Diana did on the rest of the test. So I'm going to find that lesson 1 test for grade 2, and I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to show the report. And here it's going to show me that she also got number 4 wrong and got half grade for this. So number 4 right here, this is telling me number 4 is an issue. This is something I have not taught well enough. So I'm going to view number 4 and see what it is. And a friend told Mary that she was going to have a baby. We need to revisit that question because all the kids in my class got it wrong. All right, any questions on how the kids complete an assignment, how the parents see their graded assignment, how you grade an assignment? Another thing, so I'll stop there for a second. The last thing I'm going to show you is the messaging. Okay, no questions. Reports you won't use. Reports are really for Catholic schools, so I wouldn't worry about that. And messaging is what you will probably use every week. So go to your hamburger and click on the messaging, and then this is where you just click on compose, and this is where you would tweak that formation page that gave you a snapshot of what this week's lesson is all about. You could talk a little bit about what the topic is, what faith words they're going to be learning, and then you could give the kids some bullet points about these are the things that I'd like you to complete throughout the week, and send me back the assignment that I'm going to send to you through the portal. And as I said, you can, it works just like an email. You don't need to know anyone's email addresses. You just have to know the name of your class to send it out to all your students and all your parents. And it works just like an email. You can see what you've sent. You can see what your drafts are. You can see what you've deleted and in your trash. And this is what I think it's important that you try to send everything that you're sending to the parents and the students through the portal, because there's a reason why schools and parishes are using portals instead of just sending out emails. And it's because we have information about children in our systems, and this is the safest way to communicate without having it go out into the World Wide Web and risk being hacked. So parents are used to using portals. This is how they get their children's report cards, their grades, their assignments, and they have to log in through the school's portal. So what we're doing here is essentially the same thing. Every week they would need to log into their Christ and Us portal to see what's expected of the kids this week. And that's it. So questions for me? Have I sufficiently overwhelmed, or
That's exactly what I was going to say. I am totally overwhelmed.
Now, Marie, don't let it get overwhelming. I am here to help all of you. Lucy, Steve, you guys are free to hand out my contact information. I have catechists call me every day and say, I'm trying to do this. How do I do it? Once you start playing around with it, you're going to see it is so easy to use. It is very user-friendly. And as soon as you do the first week, you're going to be like, oh, okay, now I get it. But it's a lot of information that I gave you today, but I had to give it all to you because I want you to know all the things that you have there available to you. But if you have questions when you're in that first week, feel free to call me, email me, text me, whatever, and I will respond.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Laura. Very informative.
Okay, and I have recorded this. So the live recording will only be good for a couple days because the next time I record, it overrides on Zoom for me. They won't let me keep recording. So if any of you are tech savvy and you know how to take this recording and make it permanent in a Dropbox or something, then you can save it for your parish, and then it will always be available to you. if you want to refer back to it. But remember, again, that in that getting started tile, you also have those training videos that will address a lot of what I showed you today.
So
Laura?
rather than communicating with parents through email, we have our own internal email through this program.
Yes, that's exactly
Okay.
right.
That's good. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Anybody else? Okay. Well, that's all I have for you. I'm going to stop the recording now. And